And so we're going to put the Harrison School in that mix. So when we talk about the promised neighborhood, initially, and what we will propose is that promised neighborhood will include those schools. And if you look at it, that's our primary, our middle, our high school. Okay? And we have a number of programs that are already in place in those schools that we want to enhance and grow. So a community learning center involves members of the community to help educate the students in the schools. But it also reaches out to the community. So we have that reaching in and reaching out, and that's what's different about a community school or community learning center as opposed to other schools. And I'll take questions now. Thanks. You mean in terms of staffing?
No, I mean, how is my kids going to be in school next year? For kindergarten, how are we going to start from birth to 3K kindergarten? Because we're losing that now. So I'm like, how can we keep all this? How can we keep all our kids in school?
Our funding, there was a question about the early childhood funding, as many of you may know. And good news is that the majority of that funding has been reinstated. So our early childhood programs we will have early childhood programs in the building. There's also going to be Head Start and early Head Start programs in the new building. But your concern about whether or not you can maintain the programs, yeah. The funding for our programs, kindergarten and on, pre-K is funded differently, and so there was a question there. But the State Board of Education actually funds first grade on, and that funding is stable. That will be there. That funding will be there to maintain programs. Most of the staff, or a lot of the staff that work here at Harrison School now, will also work in the new building. Okay.
I was wondering, will the school be a year-round school, for one, and how will will there be services involved that will accommodate some of the parents at work?
Accommodate what?
Will there be services such as childcare in the meantime for, during interim breaks for families that work full-time and will need that childcare that will fill in the gaps during those interim breaks?
Okay, I'll answer the first one about the year-round school schedule. That was one of the recommendations that came out of the many committees that planned these two schools. It will not be year-round the first year. Actually, it doesn't even start till August, so it would be difficult for it to have a year-round school schedule because school doesn't start until the end of August. But it is the desired intent for the school to become year-round thereafter. Okay? In terms of programs in the schools, there have been some programs that were recommended early on that we may or may not be able to implement initially at both the schools. But there will be an after-school program for Harrison and for Glen through our 21st Century Learning Center program. And that program has been in operation here at Harrison and at Glen for this past year and will continue for the next 4 years. So there is an after-school presence. In our plans, the needs of the families are being considered, absolutely. The Harrison School, through the Early Head Start program, is planning a center-based program for birth to 3. And as I said before, there will be the Early Head Start, the Early Childhood programs have been reinstated.
Are you on schedule for opening up the school on time? Is everything going?
I can say yes to that. I just talked with the people that are in charge of buildings and grounds and architects and so forth just this past week, and they're on schedule. and very sure that the buildings are going to open up in time for school to start August 30th. Yeah. Now let me say this. With all the cuts and the things that have been happening, you know, when we started the planning process, the desire was when those school doors open, all of those community programs that people have said they wanted would be in place and we'd be able to start. The reality is that we've had to put some things on hold. But there's a good side to that as well. And the good thing is it gives us an opportunity for you to get involved in helping plan and develop those community and parent-parental programs. And that's our intent. We need you to be there to help us develop the types of programs you want for your neighborhood. Okay.
I was wondering, I know that Lexington has been a model for the community-based schools in terms of...
Lexington was our first community learning center, yeah.
Harrison and Glenelg was similar to that in terms of having the village kind of things or the pod kind of things where each village kind of has a community-based thing, and how will that look when you have higher structures or higher grade levels?
Yes, and that's a good question. It is designed, and it is designed with the village concept. They're not called villages. I don't think we call them villages in this case, but the research supports the fact that you have that configuration. So there is an area for the younger children, birth through kindergarten, I think it is, and then the up through third grade and the fourth grade on up. So there are actually 4 areas based on their grade levels, okay, in the building. So what we learned, and I'm glad you asked this, we learned a lot of what to do when we built Valesky Hinton Center, and we also learned what not to do. Valesky Hinton Center is 17 years old. Yeah. In fact, there's a mom here that her daughter, she introduced me to her. She was at the Valesky Hinton Center when she was 3 or 4, and now she just finished her first year at college. And we learned a lot from that model, and all the things that we learned, we incorporated into these new buildings. But things have changed so much in 17 years. And one of the things that you're going to find in these buildings is that they have much more technology than we didn't even have the vision for some of the things that are in your new building. Okay? Any other questions?
What about our dropout rates? Our teenagers that don't go to school, can they go back and get their GEDs and stuff through this comparison?
Well, one of the recommendations for the new schools is to have adult ed, especially here. Ms. Smith, the principal, has really advocated to have an adult ed program here. We're working on it. It's not finalized, but we are working on it. And again, that's one of the areas that we can use input from the community on developing those programs. So it is our intent and desire to have that. Right, and there's an adult ed classroom in the building. Yeah. Any other questions?
This for May 21st, that's going to be where you have a lot more input as a community resident. Is that what that's for?
Yes. Yeah, these meetings that we have these ongoing meetings, we call them stakeholder meetings. And it's anyone that can come and we can share information. We have out of those meetings, there have been specific people that have committed to serving on certain committees. And so we now have the planning board, we have a writing committee, we have the selection committee, we have a marketing committee. But they came out of those stakeholder groups. But the purpose of those meetings and the one on the 21st is just informational, and they're open to anyone.